Cosmos SDK, Ethereum WebAssembly or eWasm, and Cosmos WebAssembly or CosmWasm, all in one chain. Mythos. Mythos was started as a cutting-edge chain for our latest blockchain tech, and now we are ready to present what we have been working on in the past months. With CosmWasm as a basis, we have added an engine for the Ethereum virtual machine for WebAssembly. EVM for WebAssembly has been named eWasm. eWasm is the next generation virtual machine for Ethereum, conceptualized by the Ethereum core teams, but its implementation has been paused. Now, with inspiration from their earlier designs, but adapted for Cosmos and CosmWasm, we have brought eWasm to Cosmos. CosmWasm and eWasm coexist on the same chain, so you can write contracts in all languages that compile to WebAssembly, including Solidity. And these contracts can interact with one another. Today we will focus on a demo of eWasm and how you are able to use Remix to deploy eWasm contracts on Mythos. I am in Remix here and I have already loaded our Mythos plugin. Right now we don't have any contracts compiled, but we can see 3 tabs: Compile, Deploy, and DApp. So let's compile a simple storage contract by just doing a Command S keyboard shortcut, and now the plugin shows us the contract bytecode. Here, the ABI and the WebAssembly text for the contract. What has happened is the EVM bytecode has been transpiled to WebAssembly in the background. And now we can go to the deployment tab and our storage WASM binary is already loaded. And we can just upload it to the chain. The deployment process is the same as CosmWasm. You can upload the contract once and then reuse that contract for multiple instances of contracts that have different constructor arguments, or better said, instantiation arguments. The contract has been uploaded and we have the code ID of our contract. We can see the transaction hash here and other information from the upload transaction. Now with this code ID and a human readable label, and the instantiation message, we can instantiate this contract. The storage contract receives a UN256 variable in the constructor. Let's set it to 7. And this will be our instantiation message. And let's do the transaction. Notice that we are using Kepler because we are using a Cosmos SDK compatible API. And Kepler is connected to the Mythos network. The instantiate transaction has passed and we see our contract address, the transaction hash, and other information. This contract address is filled automatically in the DApp page, and here the contract ABI generates an easy interface that we can use to interact with our contract. So let's get the stored value, which is 7, the value that we have set in our constructor, and we can also change this value. Let's change it to a 9. And we get the transaction information, logs, transaction hash, and so on. And now if we call the get function again, we get the new value, which is 9. So you have seen the powers of Mythos. You can develop Solidity or Yule contracts, you can deploy eWasm on Cosmos, but you can also develop CosmWasm and deploy the contracts alongside Solidity contracts. In future demos, you will see CosmWasm being able to call eWasm and eWasm being able to call CosmWasm contracts. And you will see eWasm using Cosmos modules such as governance and IBC. This is taking eWasm beyond its Ethereum 2.0 plans into liquid staking, governance in sync across chains, and other surprise applications. Can your blockchain do what was demoed today? Can your blockchain do something else that the Mythos chain cannot?